It's good to have you join us on AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. I am Merciful Ajinamo. The Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Professor Suleiman Elias Bogoro, this Monday stressed the need to support Nigerian scientists who are currently working to develop a homegrown vaccine against COVID-19. Responding to questions on Arise News, the Tetfund boss stated that Nigeria's current National Research Fund is the largest in the history of the country, having been jacked up by President Muhammadu Buhari from 3 billion naira to 5 billion naira in 2019. He, however, explained that considering the complexities and extended time it takes to develop vaccines, which include laboratory work and institutional approvals, scientists in Nigerian tertiary institutions would require further support in their efforts to contribute to the global search for a COVID-19 vaccine.
Today, in the research community, I'm almost sure that the Tetfund research grant managed under the National Research Fund, NRF for short, and currently chaired by Professor Bamiro, is the largest single visible research grant in the Nigerian tertiary education system. And it is recalled that only last year, the Board of Trustees of Tetfund, on the initiative and advice by management, recommended through the Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, to Mr. President, an increase from the original seed money of 3 billion to 5 billion. And Mr. President approved it. We are even hoping that in the 2020 budget, that could still be scaled up.
Bogoro explained that under his leadership, Tetfund interventions are focused not just on infrastructure, but in innovative research content.
Globally, the global rating and ranking of universities is much less because of ordinary fiscal infrastructure. It has significantly to do with the quality of research and, of course, faculty. It's quality of faculty that reflects the quality of research. And, of course, faculty members cannot do research if there are no equipment. So, yes, addressing the issue you raised, to what extent is the support that Tetfund is expecting from government and beyond? Today, there is no doubt about it. The message is very clear. While we're all in lockdown across the world, that more funding is actually required. And that is why from Tetfund, we try to increase the amount for research to apply, especially for applied research. That is the National Research Fund that has a grant level of up to 50 million. And I want to say this, that there have been, in fact, including among the 128 research grants that were signed in January this year, there are 1 or 2 that worked on infectious diseases, as it were, and we are hoping that it can be scaled up.
Bogoro also reiterated Nigerian universities' efforts in the production of prototype ventilators and other palliatives to fight COVID-19. Still on COVID-19, the Primary Healthcare Development Agency of Taraba State, Nigeria, this Monday flagged off a statement enlightenment campaign against the spread of coronavirus in Jalingo, the state capital. The chairman of the board of the agency, Victor Bala, said, although the state is yet to record any case of COVID-19, the agency needs to take proactive measures and enlighten its citizens. The executive secretary of the agency, Alhaji Aminu Hassan, said the exercise will be led by directors of the primary healthcare department in the 16 local government areas of the state. In another development, an official of the World Health Organization has tested positive for the deadly coronavirus in Bauchi State, Nigeria. The State Ministry of Health, in a statement signed by Ibrahim Sani, said, following confirmation of the infection, officers of the United Nations International Children Emergency Fund and the World Health Organization have been officially sealed and are now being decontaminated. Commissioner of Health, Dr. Ali Muhammad, and the Executive Chairman of Bauchi State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Rilwanu Muhammad, explained that the measures were taken to prevent the spread of the virus in the state. And the Bayelsa State Task Force on COVID-19 this Monday said the 140 blood samples sent to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control in Edo State, Nigeria, have all tested negative. The co-chairman of the task force, Dr. Inodu Apoku, made a disclosure at a news conference in Yenagoa, the state capital. He said the samples were taken between March and April, adding that surveillance was ongoing in the 8 local government areas of the state. Apoku, who is also the permanent secretary in the state's Ministry of Health, announced that the state government was working to set up a COVID-19 reference laboratory in Bayelsa State. He, however, noted that over 200 persons who have been screened at points of entry into the state had not shown any significant symptoms of concern. You're watching AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital. We will go on a short break now. More stories when we return. Do stay.
As the world faces the challenge of the coronavirus pandemic and governments around the world are racing against time, AD4 TV Radio thanks you all for doing your part to stop the spread of the disease. Be safe at home and practice hygiene. Protect yourself and others. Do not panic. Do not self-medicate. Listen to all preventive advice and stay at home, as well as maintain social distancing. Say no to fake news. Get authentic updates from the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, the Federal Ministry of Health, the NCDC, and of course, AD4 TV Radio, your credible and reliable channel. Please stay safe to save others.
You're welcome back. Nigeria and other African countries need an estimated $114 billion to fund a campaign against the outbreak of the coronavirus disease on the continent. The International Monetary Fund made this known in a statement issued this Sunday after a meeting of African leaders, bilateral partners and multilateral institutions, which was jointly convened by the World Bank and the IMF. According to the statement, official creditors have mobilized up to $57 billion for Africa in 2020, including upwards of $18 billion from the fund and the World Bank each. It added that the funds are meant to provide frontline health services, support the poor and vulnerable, and keep economies afloat in the face of the worst global economic downturn. In another development, British actor and filmmaker Idris Elba launched a new United Nations fund this Monday to help farmers in poor nations. Elba and his wife, model and activist Sabrina Dore Alba, called on richer economies to provide aid to prevent needless hunger and suffering caused by the coronavirus pandemic. The couple, who had contracted the virus themselves in March, gave their support to the International Fund for Agricultural Development in its effort to prevent a global food crisis that may be triggered by COVID-19. Now, the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, has eased restrictions on movement in parts of the country under partial lockdown and urged citizens to wear face masks. The president explained that the decision is as a result of better understanding of the nature of the virus, success in containing its spread, and an enhanced testing program, in addition to the expansion of isolation and treatment centers. He, however, noted that other restrictions such as bans on social gatherings and closure of schools will remain, while border crossings will stay shut for another 2 weeks. Ghana has recorded 1,042 cases of coronavirus, 9 deaths, and over 60,000 samples have been tested in the country. In Germany this Monday, some small shops are starting to reopen as the country took a cautious step toward returning to normal. German Chancellor Angela Merkel, however, issued a stark warning against complacency in the face of the pandemic. The government is facing increased pressure to ease restrictions, especially from industries eager to get business back on track. But Chancellor Merkel is greatly concerned that the public could let its guard down too fast. She therefore urged the public to maintain social distancing measures and avoid gatherings of more than 2 people. China's health authority has called for a stronger and more rigorous testing regime to ensure that the novel coronavirus does not escape detection. In a statement released this Monday, the country's National Health Commission's director, Mark Jiawei, said all localities must improve testing capabilities, including those at border crossings, and report any epidemic information in a timely manner. He added that the provinces of Heilongjiang and Guangdong should identify the weak links in their ability to prevent and control the epidemic. The southwestern Guangxi region on Monday further tightened the Reddit 12 quarantine rules to isolate potential virus carriers. Anyone entering Guangxi from overseas will be subject to 14 days of quarantine at a centralized location and a subsequent subsequent 14 days of self-quarantine at home. In a similar development, China has rejected Australia's call for a probe to examine the global response to the coronavirus pandemic and Beijing's early handling of the outbreak. The spokesman for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, Zhang Shuang, said the accusations is disrespectful to the Chinese people's tremendous efforts and sacrifices in fighting the virus. Chinese scientists have also rejected conspiracy theories pushed by the US government, claiming the virus could have originated at the maximum security virology lab in Wuhan. In outer sports, the president of the Union of European Football Associations, Alexander Seferin, this Monday said leagues across Europe were ready to return to action behind closed doors in a bid to limit the damage caused by coronavirus. Football leagues have been suspended since March due to the pandemic, which has claimed more than 100,000 lives throughout the continent. The head of European football believes that playing would be an important step towards a return to normal life. It would also ease heavy financial losses for leagues. That's it on AD4 TV Radio News Update, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. You can join the conversation on our social media platforms at AD4 TV Radio on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at AD4 TV Radio. Many thanks for watching. I am Merciful Ajinomo.